South Africans have started making their way to holiday destinations. The Transport Department is urging motorists to drive responsibly. eNCA's Mawande Keswa is out at Marion Hill in KZN, monitoring if people are following COVID-19 and road protocols really at this time of the year. At the same time, the Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula and Mpumalanga's Premier Refilwe Mtsweni Tsipane are launching the road safety campaign in that province, and that's where we find eNCA's Lindokuhle Xulu, who is on the N4 in Belfast. Mawande, let me start with you. KZN, of course, being a key holiday destination, albeit this year with some tweaks, right, in terms of what people are able to do or not able to do. For instance, the beaches won't be open tomorrow. How is it looking in as far as traffic is concerned at Marion Hill? Mawande Keswa, I'm not sure if you can hear me. I'm checking with you if...
The picture is different to the picture that we saw in the previous year. Of course, we are now dealing with COVID-19. The traffic flow is different to what we saw in the previous year. We do know that, yes, COVID-19 has affected the number of vehicles that are entering the province. To give us more information, I'm joined by the MEC for Transport in the province, Mr. Begindul. MEC, it's a different picture that we're seeing here. Could you please tell us about what you're expecting and what the plan is in ensuring that those coming into the province do so safely and adhere to the rules of the road as well as COVID-19 regulations?
Well, firstly, thank you very much for having me. We are here, this toll gate. We are monitoring, firstly, the influx of the vehicles that are coming into KwaZulu-Natal. Already, over 1,532 vehicles are coming in at this point, which indicates to us that there are more people that will be visiting our province. And but we are also checking everything, whether the vehicle is roadworthy, whether the driver of the vehicle is in compliance with the rules of the road, of driving in the road. And we are also checking whether the COVID-19 regulations are being observed. So already we have stopped at least 51 trucks, checking their roadworthiness in the road. We have already arrested one driver that was driving when drunk, under the influence of liquor, which is a message that we're sending to everybody. And we know that we don't have enough manpower, but our planning that we have embarked on, where integrated law enforcement agencies are with us. As you could see here, it's not only SAPS, it's not only RTI, you have municipality that is here. So we are able to do whatever that we can do with the resources that we have.
Now, MEC, Eastern Cape beaches are closed. Cape Town was unscathed by what the President said yesterday. Our beaches are still open except on those big days such as the 16th. Are we expecting an influx of people from the province of Eastern Cape where our beaches at least are still open? And how will we be dealing with issues around adhering to COVID-19 regulations once people are in the province and are in areas such as the beach?
Firstly, we need to warn people that are coming to KwaZulu-Natal, whether from Eastern Cape or from whichever province, that opening the beaches on certain times does not give people a free way to misbehave. Now, if we find those people that are misbehaving, then KZN is not their place to visit. So they must make sure that if they come to KwaZulu-Natal, they must make sure they comply with the rules and the regulation. But secondly, we have the manpower to manage all those things. This is why I said earlier, our integrated law enforcement that are here will also be dispersed around the beaches so that whoever that is in our towns, not only at eThekwini, but from the south to the north, we want to make sure that people are behaving on the road, they're behaving on the beaches, they're also behaving in the hotels. And in terms of their security, that is guaranteed. They must leave it to us and they must trust us. that KZN is a no-nonsense province. If there's any person that would come with some criminal thinking, then we are going to deal decisively with those people.
Thank you very much there for your time. We have been speaking to the MEC for Transport in the province, Zebegi Ntuli. The operation is called Operation Valatula Sizwe. So if you'll be making your way into the province as well, make sure that you adhere to the road rules as well as the regulations once you're at the beach.
Absolutely. Key messages there from eNCA's Mawande Keswa out at Marion Hill Toll Plaza. Let me take you to Lindogo Tlekulu, who is along the N4, and I believe you are in the area known as, if I'm correct, it's known as Emakazeni, right? Belfast, there on the N4. It's one of the key routes in Mpumalanga, Lindo, leading to such cities as Mbombela, as well as beyond the Kruger National Park, all the way to Mozambique. It's one of the key routes in the province. How is it looking there in terms of the focus of law enforcement and the campaign that is being launched there?
Well, that's right, Tulas. We are on the N4 next to Belfast, as you rightfully said, and I can certainly tell you that law enforcement authorities are out in their numbers, of course, ahead of many of those road operations, part of the road campaign that was launched by the Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula, and today he is joining law enforcement authorities, the provincial leadership of Mpumalanga, and I can tell you that the one who's leading that provincial leadership is, of course, Refile Mtweni, the Premier of the province. And I'll move out of short, Tulas, to show you, in fact, she is the one that is currently addressing some of the law enforcement officers here and just trying to give them a sense of directive as to what exactly is it that is expected of them during the festive season. But I'm not sure if you will see, Tulas. We were expecting, of course, that the Minister of Transport, Mbalula, is the one that will be joining them. He is right next to the Premier, but also we have a surprise visitor here. That is General Begikele, the South African Police Service Minister. He is also here. We are yet to hear from them as to what exactly is it that they will tell these boots on the ground, but certainly there seems to be no stone left unturned, Tulas, in making sure that these road safety campaigns are heightened during the festive season. But this is part of that theme that Mbalula said that in fact they will be looking to making sure that the roads are safe for 365 days, and it added a subtext there saying that wire. So these are some of the operations that will be taking place. Like I said, we are yet to get a sense of what their message will be to these law enforcement agencies, but certainly to us, this is some of the this is an important route that leads to destinations like the Kruger National Park. This is also leading to that Libombo border where we've seen many cars parked over the previous years. So these operations are making sure that while this while the traveling is taking place, that everyone is safe on the roads. And as you can see, the authorities, the leadership is out here to try and give directive to law enforcement officers that are here in Mpumalanga.
But I do believe, Lindo, that even before we hear from them what they will be doing differently this time around, the themes are all too familiar, are they not? I mean, issues such as overloading on the N4 is a real issue, as well as the adherence by public transportation to road rules, and also now with the added measures around COVID-19, but also the issue of cross-border crime.
That's right, Tulas, cross-border crime being one of those biggest ones, but also cross-border issues as far as traveling is concerned, because last year in December, I can tell you, I was near the Libombo border, and the traffics that are there in terms of the processing of people coming in and outside of the country was causing much backlog. And now you look at the fact that we are confronted by COVID-19. Some compliance issues around crossing the border will include presenting a medical certificate. Now you can imagine, with all of those things having to be taken into account, how long that backlog will build up. But also, just on these roads, you understand that there are certain things that are not allowed, in fact, over the weekend, such as alcohol, buying alcohol. So all of those who pass here will be able, or rather will be expected to answer to some of those protocols. Seeing the public transport as well, such as the Quantum that is passing here, they are expected that even though operating at 100% capacity, they will then have to be able to open their windows every now and then and have everyone in their masks. So those are some of the things that are in addition to in fact, what we normally see with the checking of licenses, with the checking of license disc and all of that. But the addition is then the COVID-19 protocols. Are they observed, particularly on those public transports ferrying people to different destinations?
All right, thank you for that. That's eNCA's Lindogo Hlekulu in the town known as Belfast. And if I am not wrong, if I'm getting my facts correctly here, I believe it's known as eMakhazeni, and there's a good reason for that. It can be very, very cold in that town of Belfast, and therefore earning the reputation of eMakhazeni, the cold, cold place. It's one of the coldest areas, particularly in the area of Mpumalanga. From the N4 across the Atlantic now, Joe Biden